Hey, hello, this is John Davis with Action Coach and Davis Business Coaching. I'm here with Jaketra Bryant of Jaketra Bryant Incorporated, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her business and what her journey's been about. So, Jaketra, why don't you just introduce yourself? Good.
Yeah, I am Jaketra Bryant, owner and operator of Jaketra Bryant Incorporated. Um, my business is all about bringing diversity, equity, inclusion awareness to the community at large. And so, what I do is I provide educational services, ongoing intimate training to executive leadership, to school officials, from the smallest person to the largest person, and I show companies how important it is to bring diverse voices out. And so in that piece, it's a really good piece because it helps us all utilize the talent that's within us already. And so oftentimes, like, everyone gets overlooked, or we think that this is not our lane. And a lot of companies and school officials, small and large sectors, like to work from bottom down, but really
Hmm.
it's best to work bottom up. And so
Right.
bottom up means that, like, we give others an opportunity to really talk about what's happening within the four walls of their world, and really maximize like what's happening inside businesses, inside someone's personal life, and how that impacts each other in order for us to have more inclusive services. So that's
Okay. All right. Interesting. So, I heard something in there. You were talking about the diversity and inclusion, and I didn't hear you say it explicitly, but it sounded a little bit like, you can improve your business profitability
yeah.
by focusing in this area. This is not well, it sounds like it's culture based, right? Culture and inclusion clearly is a soft area of the business. You start to say something about bringing performance out and elevating performance because of it. And that's really bottom line based, which I've been in a lot of different businesses. I think a lot of people want a nice place to work. They want to be with a lot of nice people, and they want everyone to be comfortable, but they're much more motivated if it's bottom line.
Yeah, yeah,
Right or wrong,
yeah,
that's the way it is.
yeah.
Maybe that's a little jaded,
No,
but
no,
anyway.
numbers make a difference, and so does it. So numbers make a difference how a person feels, if a person feels like they're going to belong. And so what I've done with my business, I've combined like both worlds of myself. So I'm a licensed professional counselor, and then I'm completing my doctorate in organizational leadership. So I've combined the world of psychology and behavior and how people's brains and behaviorals work to business. And so, and I'm
Okay,
bringing those worlds
excellent.
together. Yeah, I'm bringing those worlds together. I'm giving a voice while keeping in mind that, like, business and profits and globally getting on the map, all those things matter as well.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want to sound overly jaded, but years ago, I got involved a lot in the green movement, right? The energy efficiency and all. It's very important, right? I'm not
Mhm.
putting that down, but in reality, for businesses, th- they want to be green as long as they're making some green, right? And
Mhm.
like it or not, that's the way people are motivated, particularly in larger
Yeah.
organizations. There's many, many good people doing many, many good things and doing the right thing for the right cause, but the way
Sure.
it really only gets done is if it contributes to the bottom line.
Yeah.
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 Completely.
So why don't you start the business?
Yeah, I started it. One is because, like, within my research, so I've done a lot of evidence-based research in my doctorate program. So within my research, I just kept like looking at a lot of the issues in educational disparities, health disparities, mental health disparities within people of color. And I started like really diving into like where the issue was coming from and what was happening. And there were a lot of groups that were constantly being on the outside of this. So a lot of economic factors are in people of color. A lot of gender issues happen within the work and health entities. And so from that, I was like, you know what? Like, I really got to get in and get some training and education to the executive leadership so that they can restructure their work environment and utilize the people that are actually that have strong ethics. So you have like maybe backgrounds of Hispanic or the Black communities who have very strong work ethics, but are being overlooked or underused or used in wrong places or wrong spots in the business because
Right.
of maybe education, or because maybe their method is different. And
Right.
so go in and I do a lot of culture-based practices where I teach culture. So you can see the individual and be like, oh, wait, we're coming at the same street. We're just coming at it from maybe two different ways, but we're on that same street basically to our destination. And to say that that actually maximizes. So I wanted to teach people a more unified approach within their business. So people
Okay.
can, and they
All
can
right.
have. So happy workspaces build happy homes. Bad
Mhm.
workspaces build unhappy homes.
This is true. This is true. So, is there anyone else who does what you do? And if so, how are you different from them?
Yeah, there is.
Without naming names, right? I mean, I don't want to
Yeah,
name.
there are people who promote diversity, equity, inclusion and do workshops like I do, but there are not any people who actually have the clinical background, who have tapped
Okay.
into the psychology and the behavioral, where there is literally a study of human behavior. And so that makes me pretty different, is that there's a two of both worlds. So there's a lot of educators out there, of course, who can teach diversity and inclusion, have workshops, but they learn the people along the way. And it's my area. Literally, I live to study humans.
Okay. All right. So, what are your goals for the business?
Yeah. So my goal is to literally make this a global type of like business where I collaborate with other officials or other people within the market to really, really bring this into like more businesses, more schools where people like alter how they approach education. So I really want to really get in there and change the Anglo-Saxon type of like educational system to be more culture-based practices. That's a really big goal. Another one is like I said, getting into like the government entities where they have their own culture and it looks diverse, but yet it's just a lot happening within those like sectors. Is to get in there and really address those things from a larger standpoint. Because again, those particular businesses produce what's happening in the homes. And
Right.
so,
That have you set a goal though, as far as number of businesses or number of employees or something that's measurable?
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to tell me what it is, but
yeah. So I have a couple of 1 year goals that I want to work on locally within like Columbus and Alabama side of
mhm.
grabbing about two more schools here to work with them and then landing a government contract. And so those are some
Okay.
of the smaller ones I'm working on. And also I conduct workshops. So I'm in the midst now of preparing a contract with Columbus State University and beginning to go in and do some continuing education to their students and their professors. And so that's my first school. And my goal is to grab more schools.
Okay. That's good. So can anyone go to those or is it just within
Yeah,
Columbus State?
anybody. Yeah,
Okay.
anybody can take on continuing education or related experience hours. So for people that need continuing education and the helper fields like police officers, firefighters, counselors, other professionals, they can take the continuing education, which is
Okay.
usually something that their jobs are requiring.
Have you made any major decisions to adjust how you get to those goals? We talked about something, offline here um, about selling a product or service such as this. Is there anything that you've done or altered of late to increase your likelihood of hitting the goals?
Yeah, I am now looking into partnering with local businesses where it helps their organization get some business, as well as they allow me to host workshops and mindfulness trainings there. And so therefore people bring in the traffic. So one of the ones I'm working on is like a Photoshop booth here. And so people
Hmm.
come and take some cute selfies, and then they get to have a great speaking a moment for me and some training for me and some networking. So that one's going to be,
Okay.
and so yeah, so I've looked at like, hey, what does it look like to bring in new business, and if you allow me the space to do so.
Okay. So kind of a partnership networking marketing strategy.
Hmm.
Okay. That's a really good one. We talk to people about that a lot. So Okay, what's most important that you want people to know about your business? People that are
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. I want people to know that creating space and for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging is new and it's scary, but it's super necessary, because we all are a part of a diverse environment. So although it seems like this is not for me, it is for me. Like it is for
Right.
everyone. And so I want companies to understand that it's not just for a company that's all black, or all white. It's for all companies to, because everyone's culture is different. Like you can be
Right.
the gender and same color and have different cultures. And so to understand that is highly important for just humanity and connection.
Right. Okay. Touch on a couple things, and some of it is if somebody doesn't think that they want to have this because they're afraid to talk about it, then they probably do need it. Also, listening to the podcast the other day, and a lot of times when people think about diversity, they think of it that it is color, it is nationality, and this speaker had a really good point that most people forget is diversity really comes down to diversity of thought. That's the more important piece, and recognizing that that adds value when it's diversity of thought, not not just the picture looks different, but do we think differently and bring our ideas together
Yeah.
to be better? That's that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
My impression of
I agree. Yeah. And that scares companies because people might think that you're trying to change their models or
it. Right.
their view. And that's not the case. This actually enhances it because when a person, like this is where I bring in the clinical portion of education. When a person feels very connected, you receive the authenticity of that person. The
Right.
arm, Brene Brown calls it armor. We put on our armor. And so the armor comes off. The armor of us comes off when we feel safe and comfortable and we'll show up. So you
Right.
won't get the person coming in late or barely doing something or thinking about how they can build their own stuff. You'll get them literally brainstorming how to maximize right there in those four walls.
Right. Absolutely. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's something important right now. So I appreciate you sharing that. So looking forward to see how it goes, and let's be sure to stay in touch.
Yes, please.
All right. That sounds great.
Thank you.